the grave of the Prophet ﷺ. We know that the grave of the Prophet ﷺ initially was absolutely separate from the Masjid. It was in the house of Aisha radiallahu anha, but that was right next door to the Masjid. That's how it used to be in those days. Very small. Medina was very small in those days compared to what it is now. So the house of the wives of the Prophet ﷺ, they were right there at the side of the mosque. So he was buried in the house of Aisha radiallahu anha. Then after that, as time went by, the mosque expanded and expanded. More Muslims, expansions. They carried on expanding all the other directions. But they couldn't expand in that direction of the house of Aisha, because that would mean they'd have to go around the grave of the Prophet ﷺ in there. So they didn't go that way. Eventually it got to a stage where there was so much pressure, Muslims increasing numbers, Medina growing, they had to expand in that direction. So the ruler at the time, this was after the Sahaba, the ruler at that time made the decision, we're going to have to go that way. We'll block off the grave as it's blocked off now. All walls to the top, you can't see anything. Just from the front, where you give the salam, you can see. Everything is blocked off. Made the decision, we'll block it all off, and we're going to have to expand that way, for the sake of expanding the mosque. The scholars at the time generally didn't agree. They said we shouldn't, because it will cause confusion to people, and people may not understand. But the ruler decided we need to expand, it has to expand, we're under pressure, so he did it. Built the walls around, closed it off, and expanded. So even now, initially, there was nothing about the mosque and the grave together at all. Separate. Only through later years of pressures of expansion, they ended up blocking it off and expanding around it that way too. But even now, the dua of the Prophet ﷺ stands. When the Prophet ﷺ made dua that Allah does not make his grave a place of worship. And it isn't. Nobody can go there and start doing any prostrations. Security guards will pick you up straight away. Nobody can go there and start doing any other type of shirk or anything to the grave of the Prophet ﷺ. Security guards will remove you straight away. Any of the other sides can't do a thing. Huge walls blocking it all off. So that is not a doubt you should bring that the grave of the Prophet is in the mosque. It was not, and it was not like that. And even now it is absolutely prohibited to do anything. No shirk is going to occur there. The guards will stop you straight away and remove you. So that is not a doubt you should bring. What we know is that it is absolutely impermissible to build mosques on top of graves. That you have a grave and you say, we're going to build our mosque on top of the grave of our righteous Imam. Is that how it happened with this instance? Not at all. It was no choice, the ruler thought. Or that they purposely bring their Imams and bury them in their mosques. Is that what happened here? Not at all again. So that is not an example that can be used.